The Concorde name synonymous with speed, elegance, and innovation. It wasn't just an aircraft. It was the realization of a dream that humanity had chased for decades, to fly faster than sound. From its conception in the 1960s to its final flight in 2003, the Concorde represented the pinnacle of engineering and ambition. It was a project that united nations, captured the world's imagination, and forever changed the way we thought about air travel. But the journey to create the world's first supersonic passenger jet was far from easy. It was a story of collaboration and rivalry, of triumph and tragedy. This is the story of the Concorde story of how visionaries transformed the future of aviation, but at a price. In the aftermath of World War II, the aviation world was evolving at a rapid pace. With the development of jet engines and the breaking of the sound barrier by Chuck Yeager in 1947, the race to build a supersonic aircraft was on. But this time, the goal was more ambitious. It wasn't just about military jets. It was about civilian air travel. It was in this heated climate of innovation and competition that the concept of the Concorde was born. In 1962, two countries, France and the United Kingdom, joined forces, signing a historic agreement to develop the world's first supersonic airliner. It was a rare example of international collaboration in aviation, and it would bring together the best minds in both nations. The project was ambitious, and the stakes were incredibly high. Designing and building the Concorde was no small feat. Its sleek, needle-like fuselage, distinctive delta wings, and powerful Rolls-Royce Snecma Olympus 593 engines were unlike anything ever seen before in commercial aviation. Every detail had to be meticulously engineered to achieve speeds of over twice the speed of sound Mach 2.04. After years of testing, refining, and overcoming setbacks, the Concorde was finally ready for its maiden flight. On March 2, 1969, in Toulouse, France, the world held its breath as the sleek, futuristic aircraft took to the skies for the first time. This was a moment of triumph for both French and British engineers. The Concorde had taken flight, and the age of supersonic travel was on the horizon. On January 21, 1976, Concorde entered commercial service, with British Airways and Air France operating simultaneous flights to Bahrain and Rio de Janeiro. The aircraft quickly became a symbol of luxury, speed, and exclusivity. Its signature route, from London or Paris to New York, allowed passengers to cross the Atlantic in just under 3.5 hours, half the time of traditional airliners. Flying aboard the Concorde wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, it was an experience. Celebrities, business tycoons, and world leaders all flocked to the aircraft, eager to pay the hefty price for the privilege of supersonic travel. The Concorde's cabin, while compact, was designed to cater to the elite. With a cruising altitude of 60,000 feet, passengers could see the curvature of the Earth, a view reserved for astronauts. Despite its undeniable allure, the Concorde faced significant challenges throughout its operational life. The sonic boom it produced when breaking the sound barrier caused protests from environmentalists and communities near airports. The boom was so disruptive that Concorde was limited to flying supersonic only over oceans, which drastically restricted its route network. The economic challenges were just as pressing. The oil crisis of the 1970s led to skyrocketing fuel prices, and the Concorde's fuel-hungry engines made it one of the most expensive aircraft to operate. Its narrow, elite market meant that, while it remained a status symbol, it was not a highly profitable venture for British Airways or Air France. The dream of widespread supersonic travel for the masses was quickly fading. The Concorde's impeccable safety record was shattered on July 25, 2000, when Air France Flight 4590 crashed shortly after takeoff from Paris, killing all 109 passengers and crew on board, as well as for people on the ground. The cause of the accident was a piece of metal that had fallen onto the runway, puncturing the Concorde's tire and causing debris to rupture the fuel tank. The crash was a devastating blow to the Concorde's reputation. For a time, all Concordes were grounded and extensive safety modifications were made. But despite efforts to return to service, the writing was on the wall. The tragedy, coupled with rising operational costs and decreasing demand after the September 11, 2001 attacks, meant that Concorde's days were numbered. On October 24, 2003, Concorde made its final commercial flight. Thousands gathered at airports to watch the last supersonic airliner gracefully touch down for the last time. It was the end of an era of farewell to a technological marvel that had captivated the world for over 27 years.